Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca, and we're just going to go through a short sequence to come into our body and connect with our breath. We'll start today here in easy seated pose, Sukhasana, with the legs crossed, hip bones, sits bones on the floor, palms can be on the knees, face down or up toward the ceiling. Spine is straight. And if it's difficult to straighten the spine, it may be nice to add something under the hips, such as a towel, blanket, block, or bolster. So let's just come into a couple breaths here. Just your natural breath, settling into the pose. Breathing in and out. Let's come into our Ujjayi breath. First with an open mouth, we'll inhale deeply and exhale open mouth audibly as if fogging up a mirror. And we come into our Ujjayi breath by attempting that same motion, but with the lips sealed, requiring a slight constriction in the throat. And let's take a breath there. In through the nose and out through the nose. One final breath here in Sukhasana. And we're going to find our way into Balasana, child's pose, either rolling over the feet or just stacking knees and coming forward onto all fours. And we bring our toes together. We spread the knees wide. We take an inhale, and with an exhale, we press our hips back over our heels, melting the chest to the floor. And the forehead reaches toward the ground as well. Pressure in the palms, pressing our hips back over our heels, and we breathe deeply across the back body, finding openness here in our Balasana, child's pose. Now we're going to find twisted child's pose. So we tent the palms, active in the fingers to give us some space. So we can slip the right arm through and under the left. And we bring the right ear to the floor. And we breathe deeply across the body. Finding expansion here in twisted child's pose. Parivrita Balasana. Inhaling, pressing into our left palm to come back into our neutral child's pose for a breath in and out. Pressing into the fingers again to bring space. And we bring the left arm under the right and left side of the head meets the floor. We breathe in and out here. Stretching across the body. Parivrita Balasana, twisted child's pose. One final inhale in and out here. Inhale brings us back to neutral. We mount the heart forward one final time with our exhale. And our inhale brings us up to our tabletop position. We stack the shoulders directly over the wrists, the hips directly over the knees. We are active in our hands. Our elbow creases point toward each other. The crown of the head is in direct alignment with the tail. We take an inhale in and out. Coming into our cat-cow, we'll hold each for an extra breath to feel that deep stretch. First, we bring the tail upward, roll the shoulders back, and shine the chest forward with our inhale. Cow pose. Finishing this breath cycles, finding that stretch across the belly. YTT-1 cow pose. Our next exhale, we find opposition as we roll the chin toward the chest, the tail rolls in, and the spine reaches toward the ceiling. Breathing in across the back body, engaging the core muscles at Uddiyana Bandha to press our spine toward the ceiling. Another inhale, an exhale here. Our next inhale brings us back to cow, and exhale back to cat. Manjaryasana cat pose. Our inhale finds us back at our neutral tabletop. From here, we'll begin to find our downward facing dog. We walk the hands forward for our inhale, tucking the toes and pressing the hips back. As we exhale, our heels toward the floor. The knees can stay slightly bent and heels may not find the floor, but that is the idea that we're looking for here. Palm pressure, hands are wide. We find pressure from the knuckles into the ground, pressing our chest back toward the thighs. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. We inhale here and exhale. We will twist our dog, which may require a step forward to shorten the stance. And we inhale our right hand toward the outside of our left calf, and we look under the left side armpit for an inhale and an exhale. Parivrita Adho Mukha Svanasana, twisted downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Our inhale finds us back in our neutral down dog. We exhale. And our inhale finds our left hand going to the outside of our right calf. And we twist and look over underneath our right side body. Breathing in and out. Our inhale brings us back to our neutral down dog for a final inhale and exhale. We're going to walk our feet forward into a forward fold, either one big step to our hands or small baby steps to enjoy the journey. Feet can be together or shoulder width apart, two fists width apart. And we hang here in a ragdoll, forward fold, Uttanasana pose. Hands can be at the ground. You can find a gentle bend in the knees, maybe a gentle sway, or we could find opposite elbow or elbow crease here and hang. Find expansion in the back, letting gravity do some work for us. Now we find halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, pressing into the shins or the low quads here. Finding straightness in the spine. Our gaze is down at the floor. And we melt back down to forward fold, Uttanasana. Our next inhale brings us up either slowly one vertebrae at a time, or we could open the arms out, finding extended mountain pose, Utthita Tadasana. Gaze is either forward or up at the ceiling as we stretch toward the sky. Hands come down at the sides, palms facing forward. We find grounding here in the feet. We rock onto our toes, onto the heels, maybe side to side. We discover all four corners of the feet, and we come into stillness, either feet hip width apart or together, to find some strength and some grounding in this pose. Knees are gentle, not locked here. Tail is very slightly tucked. Find a straightness here in the pelvic region. Shoulders are back down the body together, and the palms shining forward. And the chin is straight forward, maybe the slightest tuck, crown toward the ceiling. We take a deep cleansing breath here. Inhale, we bring hands up and back overhead, Utthita Tadasana, bringing hands together, sliding them down the middle to find our heart center. We inhale here, Anjali Mudra, hands at heart center, finding gratitude for our practice. Thank you for joining me today. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.